Hello, everybody. Our Degens. Welcome to Degenerate Takes. I am AJ. This is my co-host Noah. Of course, follow me on Twitter at Brofict1, Noah at _, Engelbretson. And so, Noah, I want to start off today by telling you something. We've been talking. I've been looking for a job recently, and the job market. It's hot. There's a lot of jobs out there, but with that being said, I'm expecting a big deal. I'd be expecting to get paid a lot of money for my services. I'm pretty good at customer service. I know what I'm doing. But then I see these deals that the athletes are making, and that was signed recently. The biggest one that I'm shocked at, you got Luka Doncic, uh, the guy who carried Slovenia all the way through the Olympics. Honest to God, carries the Mavs every season as well. Supermax rookie extension contract, 5 years, 207 mil. Now, let me tell you, Noah, I can't imagine staying at any place that I've applied to for 5 years. But then again, I'm not getting paid 207 million. And so I do really think the Mavericks have set themselves up for success here. He is better than Dirk Nowitzki ever was. And he really can lead this team, especially if they get some other placeholders around. I think this is a great deal. Congrats to Luca for making that money. What do you think, Noah?
I don't think it's fair to call him better than Dirk Nowitzki when he's only, 2 years into the league.
Yeah, he's better automatically. He's just that much more athletic. He's just a better all-around player than Dirk is, or was, for that matter.
That is just not a fair comparison to make this early in his career. But I do think I'm not super surprised by it. I get the vibe from Luca. He's definitely like a hometown type of guy. Wants to,
Oh yeah,
he's, much like Giannis with the Bucks. Like he could have set himself up to leave and go somewhere else and join a super team. But I think he wants this to be like his team and wants them to build the pieces around him and have success with Dallas. So that's cool.
definitely, and he's definitely one of those players that you can build around. He's big, he can shoot. And then even talking off the court, he is personable. He is very good with the media. You have no problem sending him out to do that stuff. So Mark Cuban's got a big signing there and a personality in himself. Um, and now it's really in the Mavs court. Like, what are they going to do now with Luca? Are they going to waste these next 5 years, make the playoffs a couple times, but not really make a run? Because I think that's kind of what they are risking out at this point is wasting these 5 years, this 207 mil, and not really making a run.
I don't think so. I think keeping Luca there, especially if you give him another year or two to develop here, like it'll make other big name players possibly want to go to Dallas to join up with Luca, with him being the centerpiece. And yeah, we could see a couple years down the road, if they add the right pieces, we could see an interesting Mavs team that could be poised to, do some damage.
Yeah, absolutely. And at least we know, and this is kind of good for the Mavs, that anyone over the age of 34 is going to the Lakers. And so they're not going to waste their time going to the Mavs. So the Mavs are going to get a bunch of good young players that might want to build around Luca. And, they'll be with the Lakers, I think. They could be. I'm sorry. If they played their cards right and everything, they could do what the Lakers did, have a bunch of mass signings and build a brand new team if they wanted to. But you know, with Luca being a younger centerpiece, they would surround him with younger players. You might throw one or two vets in there just to kind of keep the pace of game, but it would kind of be a reverse situation that we're seeing in LA. And if that was to happen in Dallas, I think then Dallas shoots up those odds to win the West and even to make it to the playoffs. I think change drastically with this Luca signing. I'm very excited to see what's going to go on, and hopefully the Mavs do right by him.
Yep. Like I said, it'll be pretty much all reliant on what pieces they do and what pieces they're capable of adding around.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, well, let's talk about another player that got a massive contract because apparently it's just that time of the year. Um, Now this player Messi, he was with Barcelona his entire career since he was 16, and he was heartbroken to leave. As you know, Noah, I've been a big Disney fan my whole life. I was heartbroken when I was sent home from the working for them, but I didn't have a 2 year, $41 million deal on the other side. This is insane. Don't get me wrong. Messi is one of the best players in the world from what I've seen, and I don't watch enough soccer to really know what's going on. The crazy part to this deal for me is that the only reason this deal happened is because the league Barcelona's in said that they couldn't pay him the contract. I want to say it was in the 200 million for another 5 years, kind of like that Luka deal was. Um, but it was their league that blocked them and said, Barcelona, you can't sign him, dude. You're SOL, because they apparently had a deal in writing ready to go, and then the league came in and said no. Um, Soccer's crazy. What do you make of this, Noah? And did PSG just become the best team in La Liga or whatever league they're in?
I don't want to try to dive too deep into that without knowing crap about like most of those. I don't follow very closely, so I'll just keep it brief and not, try to talk out of my ass about something I don't even know.
Fair enough.
But I mean, I can't see how this is a bad situation for
No.
PSG or any other fans. I mean, be a huge jersey seller having Messi there. I mean, he's still pretty productive goals wise, even though he's, I think, getting up there in age. Maybe not.
He's
super
34.
old.
So he's still in
Okay.
his prime. He's still got some time to play some soccer, but eventually we will see a drop off.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't know. He's still one of the top tier players in the entire world when it comes to soccer. So that's never a bad addition to any team.
No, absolutely. And kind of like LeBron James or Tom Brady, you get a superstar like that on a team, that whole culture changes, and how people perceive that team completely changes. Um, don't get me wrong, this isn't going to make me watch more soccer, but I hope Messi does well. I'll watch a game or two when it gets interesting, and I want to throw some money on it. But hey, man, not bad leaving your home team to go make $41 million to beat them. But
You said 41?
yeah, 2 year, 41 mil deal. So not a bad penny.
For some reason, I thought it was more than that. I could be wrong.
I think that was the Barcelona deal. The Barcelona deal was for a shit ton of money and a half. You know what I mean, to stay at home. Uh, so I don't know. This is the first time I've really heard of soccer
Oh,
kind of effing up a contract. So that's interesting. What'd you find?
gotcha. Yeah, 41 per year. I thought you were saying 41
Oh,
over
per
two.
year. I thought it was total. I did
Yeah.
not know it was per year. That's my bad.
No, that makes a lot more sense.
So shoot, 41 mil a year, 2 years. So that's what, an $82 million deal. I bet you there's incentives plus the jerseys and anything else they can sell with him. Go him, Messi. Go Messi. I might buy his jersey
Yeah.
just for
Well, I
shits and giggles
mean,
at this point.
yeah, he's he has been a rich man, and he's just getting richer, I guess, which
Eh,
shouldn't be any surprise to anyone.
No, with that talent and everything, there's no reason that he shouldn't be getting paid that much money. Just like anyone in the NFL or the NBA or MLB, if they're making that much money, they definitely deserve it. So yeah, shifting a little bit off of all the big deals, let's talk about another rookie though. Trevor Lawrence in the news recently, mostly because Urban Meyer has come out and said that, hey, we don't know. We don't know if Trevor Lawrence is our starter. Gardner Minshew hasn't taken a shit since the offseason because he doesn't believe in being number two. Who knows? It could be Minshew coming in. And like I said a couple weeks ago, I think I want my quarterback who is willing to not take a shit for a couple weeks to be the best. Um, you and I, obviously, big Minshew mania guys. That he's got a flow that's unbeaten, a mustache that is legendary, and every once in a while he likes to win some football games. Um, what do you make of that, Noah? Do you think Urban Meyer is just kind of blowing smoke of everyone's ass, trying to humble Trevor Lawrence, the number one draft pick since he came out of the womb? Uh, what do you make of this in Jacksonville?
Yeah, I don't know how you can not, I don't know how you can use the number one overall pick on a player and not start them.
Yeah,
Now,
simple as that.
if we're talking like fifth, sixth, eighth, pick in the first round, and then if you got options, you go to him. But if you're drafting in the top like 2 or 3, you're drafting that person because you plan on starting them.
Yeah.
And I don't see anybody, barring an injury, I don't see anybody other than Trevor Lawrence. But on the other hand, I mean, you got to play whoever, if you're a coach, whoever you feel like is the most ready, and whoever gives you the best chance to win. And
Yeah.
if that's not Trevor Lawrence, then they should play Minshew in there
And
if
I
they
think,
feel like he's going to give them a better chance to win games.
yeah, absolutely. And going off that, though, with the quarterback that'll give you the best chance of winning, um, we haven't heard about Tebow in a while. We don't know if he's taking some wildcat snaps. We don't know what he's doing. I mean, realistically, this could be a three-way quarterback competition. And would I love to be a fly on the wall in that quarterback room? Because what are you doing? You got a guy who flushed out after having a couple good playoff wins. You got Gardner Minshew with the most legendary hair in the NFL. And then you got Trevor Lawrence. I mean, that's one hell of a quarterback room. Uh, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw Minshew or Tebow start game one just to kind of give Trevor Lawrence that. Um, but yeah, I really don't know what Urban Meyer is doing in this situation. He's going to start. We all know it. I don't know why he's like. I feel like he might be just being nice to the media, giving us something to talk about.
It's not going to be Tebow. He's not. He's trying to make the roster as a tight end, not as a quarterback. There's no way in hell he's not even in the quarterback room with them because he's not in that position group anymore.
If he's Wildcat, sure he is. He has to know what's going on. And you brought him in because
No.
his expertise, his being a veteran and everything. He can teach Trevor Lawrence how to be a quarterback better than Gardner Minshew can. Gardner Minshew has barely been in the league as it is. So I would rather have Tebow like a mentor Lawrence than I would rather have Minshew.
Tebow was there because Urban Meyer was his college coach, and he begged Urban Meyer to give him a roster spot, and Urban Meyer said yes. End
Yeah.
of discussion. There's no other. Yeah, we'll see if he even makes the 53-man roster. He might not even make it.
He will. Mark my words, he will. He'll be starting opening day too. First drive, first play, we'll see him lined up at tight end.
I do like that. Some of those comments are floating around though, because it seems like everybody's just with Trevor Lawrence. They're just expecting him to like come in and be a Pro Bowler and be this Hall of Fame level quarterback right away. Look, he's going into his rookie year. He's not going to have the teammates around like this. He's going to be on the other end of how he was almost every single game he played in college, where his teammates and his skill players were way better than the other teams. So they had a bunch more separation. He had a bunch more time. Now he's going to be on the opposite side of that most games, where he is on the shittier of the two teams.
Yeah.
He's going to have a lot less time to throw the ball. His guys aren't going to be as open. And I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see him struggle like most quarterbacks do their rookie campaign.
Yeah, and I don't think it says anything about Trevor Lawrence as a quarterback or as a quarterback he will be in the future. That's just what rookies go through. This is a completely different game from college. Literally everyone at every position that's ever played in the NFL has said that. So, I mean, he'll be good. Like we said, they'll win a couple games here and there, but regardless who's at quarterback, that team's going to be a mess. It's going to be a dumpster fire just while they keep rebuilding. You know what I mean?
Yep. And that's the key. You just gotta hope coming into the league when you get stuck on a shitty team that they can rebuild around you good enough, or you just gotta produce on a terrible team.
Yeah.
Until you can go elsewhere. But you look at Joe Burrow last year, he got beat the hell up.
He got killed, dude. He got killed.
Yeah, and he's probably coming back for round 2 this year. So
yeah, that poor kid. He got beat up more than a rock and sock'em robot, dude. Like I swear to God, his head is like fell off 3 times last season on some sacks. Hopefully he can stay safe this season, but we'll see. More quarterback talk, real quick. The Packers came out and they said that Jordan Love it looks like will be taking the majority of preseason snaps. Um, from my recollection, this is the most Jordan Love we're going to be seeing, I think, period. I don't think we've seen him play any football. I don't think we saw him play last preseason. Um, as a Packers fan, Noah, as a Packers owner, how are you feeling about seeing the future of the Packers take some snaps in preseason?
I think it'll be really good. I think it'll be just really good to see where he's at. All the you have everybody, media fans speculating like, oh, he's going to be so terrible, blah blah blah. Let me remind you, we have not seen this man take a single preseason or regular season snap. So it's like, who knows? He might just go out there, play like 2 quarters, and just put up like 220 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, who
Or he
knows?
might look terrible. I don't know.
Now,
I don't
if
think. I mean, I don't think a couple preseason games are really going to, answer all the question marks or anything. It'll sure give people more to talk to and maybe a little more insight onto like what he might be like. But this is not atypical for Rodgers, though. I
yeah,
mean, he hasn't played a preseason snap since I think 2017, 2018. So as he's started getting older, it's like it's not even worth his time to play in the preseason.
yeah, and it's really not. He shouldn't be playing in the preseason whatsoever. Um, but let's say Jordan Love goes out there. Mind you, it is preseason football. He's going to be playing against a bunch of second teamers and people that aren't going to be making the team. Um, let's say he does go out there, and let's say he puts up 30 points. He puts up 4 touchdowns or whatever. Um, do you think Packers fans would then be pissed off about the whole Rodgers dispute and everything, and think like, "Hey, we got a guy, we gotta just go with him," or do you think they're going to be totally chill with the whole Packers thing with Rodgers?
No, because it's fucking preseason. It does not matter for shit. The only thing preseason matters for are the guys who are trying to make those last 10 to 15 roster spots.
Yeah, that's the truth.
That's it.
It's
There's nothing
unfortunately the
else.
truth.
There's nothing else to it. And then the other part is just getting reps for some of these guys so that they're, fresh and, being able to take a couple hits. But that's why you see a lot of the starters play a drive or a quarter in these games because they don't want to be taking a bunch of hits and just, get in there, get a couple of reps in, and then be done for that one. Because the last thing you want is to get injured with some serious injury. We see it with a couple players every year where it's like, man, you get an injury in preseason and then you're out the first part of the season just because some stupid meaningless preseason game.
Yeah, or you're out the
So
whole season. Simple as that. Just one play, one misstep. Um, it's unfortunate, but a part
yeah,
of the
torn
game.
ACL, and yeah, you can get a non-contact torn ACL in preseason in practice and you're missing the whole season. There's nothing you can do about that.
Yeah, and that does suck. Uh, um, but last thing, really quick about quarterbacks. Sorry, go ahead.
No, go for it.
Um, last thing about quarterbacks that I'm looking into and kind of curious. I haven't looked at the lines yet, but I was thinking about it today, and it was brought to my attention. The Bears are playing this weekend. We're probably not going to see much of Andy Dalton. If we do, we'll see a drive or two. But that means Nick Foles is going to start and come in. So I think now, without looking at lines, and this is preseason football, but I think taking the Bears to win this upcoming Saturday, I forgot who they're playing, but I mean, you're going to have a Super Bowl MVP as your quarterback for most of the game, and then you might throw in your rookie for a drive or two in the fourth quarter. Just something to look forward to this weekend as we come up on more preseason football. But with that being said, we are less than a month away from NFL football, real NFL football, and even less time away from college football. And so we need to dive again into another division. Today we will be doing the AFC East. Noah, Dolphins. They are a team that last year they went through the whole campaign. They tanked for Tua. They got Tua Tagovailoa. He had not a bad season. He did not have a bad season. He just didn't have a season I think that everyone was looking for him to have. We do have to remember that
It
he is a
it just
rookie.
it just wasn't good.
he was he was he wasn't bad though. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to say like, dude, this guy sucks. I don't want to write him off from last season because I think he played about as well as a rookie could do in that system. You know what I mean? And definitely having Fitzpatrick to fall back on and work his Fitz magic and everything was great and really helped lead the Dolphins to a lot of those victories. But Noah, what are you looking for in the Dolphins this year, and how do you think they're going to do?
I they were a fun surprise last year, and I think they'll be decent again this year, but I do think we'll see a slight amount of regression. I don't think Tua's he's not a guy who's going to go and win you games. Like he doesn't make a lot of mistakes generally, which is nice because you don't see a lot of those bad interceptions or stuff like that. But he's not someone you want to be relying at the quarterback position if you get down 2 scores in the third quarter and you need to make a comeback and get back into a game. He's not really your guy, if that makes sense, to bring you back into a game.
Yeah.
He's a good game manager, and that's fine and everything. And then on the other side of the ball, just the problems with Xavier and Howard and some of that. I think their defense takes a slight step back again too. So I think they'll be a decent team, but I wouldn't look for them to really blow anybody away.
Yeah, absolutely. This isn't a team that's gonna make a playoff run by any means necessary. They're still in a deep rebuild. They got a couple more years until I think they're good. Um, I do think Tua's the answer. I do think Tua can do well in this system, in this NFL. Yeah, oh, absolutely. Especially in this division, dude, where really your only competition is the Bills and sometimes the Patriots. I think the Dolphins in the next couple of years with Tua, as long as they can get him some more weapons, some more toys, protect him, and then keep that defense as solid as it is, we could be looking at a playoff team in the next couple of years. But this year, not whatsoever, in my opinion. Their over under is 9.5 games. To win the division is plus 340. I think 9.5 games is high. Um, I think the under is the smart move on this. I really don't see them winning a lot of games this season. Noah, what do you have for their floor ceiling?
I just need to say real quick, Alabama quarterbacks do not make it in the NFL. They are not good. They're never good in the NFL. Name one Alabama quarterback who's had a successful NFL career. That's right. There's zero, because you know how many playoff wins Alabama quarterbacks have over the
How many, Noah?
last 50 years. I'm pretty sure that number is zero.
Really? Come on. It can't be zero. There is no way in hell
games
it's zero.
they've started. Yes.
What? How many? What am I looking up? How many Super Bowls?
No. Just playoff wins. Not even Super
Okay,
Bowls.
how many playoff wins
do Alabama quarterbacks have?
Do Alabama quarterbacks have?
I'm pretty sure the last one was in like the early 70s or something like that.
That just doesn't make sense, though. Like, all right, Crimson Tide starting quarterbacks? No. Wow. No Alabama quarterback has won a NFL game since no. Okay, since 1987. That's impossible because that makes no sense. I don't know. I'll have to research that one a little bit more because that seems like bullshit. But I'll let it slide this time. I'll let it slide tonight.
Either way, Alabama quarterbacks not good in the NFL. Never have been. Never will be. But
all right.
That being said, my floor for the Dolphins. I mean, if the regression is worse than I think it'll be, I could see their floor being down at like, I don't know, 7 and 10. Maybe as far down as 6 and 11.
Yeah.
But I I don't think their ceiling's higher than 10, 11 wins. Probably. I guess it's a ceiling, so I'll say 11-6 for their ceiling.
All right,
6
and
and 11 for their floor.
what do you think their actual total is? You have $100 you have to bet right now. Predict their record.
I'm gonna say 8-1. Going right
8,
at
8, and
500.
1. You
Only
didn't say a
because I
team was
can't
going to have a
decide
tie this
between.
year.
Well, yeah, so I gotta be consistent and have two teams tie, right? You know?
Yeah, I think you had Jacksonville tie, and I could see one of those games being a tie. I think I got them. I have them at 6-11 this year. I'm going to be slamming that under at 9.5. I think they're an okay team. I think they're rebuilding. I'm not expecting anything from them whatsoever. Uh, I just hope Tua can figure it out, because I think once he figures it out, if he can, everything will click. Uh, Going on to the next team. Sorry, go ahead.
If you remember last year, they were a different look team, and they were better when they had Fitzpatrick in there than Tua. And they kept doing the weird, like, switching back and forth shit with that, and still ended up with, I think, 10 wins or something like that. 9 or 10 wins maybe.
Yeah, absolutely. I just think with Tua being your sole starter and not really having a backup like Fitzpatrick to lean back on, that leaves the door open to lose a lot more games, and that's why I'm sticking with 6-11. I think they're going to lose a lot more games than they're going to win. Just like you said earlier, Tua can't close it out. He's not that guy when you're down to make those drives. Maybe he does make that leap in one or two games, but he's not going to consistently do that for the season. Honest to God, that's why I would stay the hell away from him in fantasy. If I had to pick up a quarterback, even if it was a backup quarterback, I would stay away from Tua at all cost.
Yeah, he's not a big numbers guy.
No, not whatsoever. With that being said, a fantasy quarterback that I am kind of high on, who I think could get you some sneaky points and be a solid backup, Zack Wilson with the New York Jets. Noah, you and I loved Zack Wilson when he was at BYU. You turned me on to him when they were just a covering machine last season. BYU just did nothing but cover until they ran into Coastal Carolina, right, in that weird game that they kind of just made up.
Yeah,
that was a rough game.
Yeah, that was the one.
That was the one. But besides that, Zack Wilson had a great season. And he is poised to have another great season with the Jets, I think. Not a winning season whatsoever by any means necessary, but still somewhat of a decent season. I think we'll see some good promise out of Zack Wilson and this Jets team going forward. To win the division, they are at plus 1,700, and their over-under is at 6 games. Noah, what do you think about the Jets this season with Zack Wilson being a rookie coming in? And do you think they're going to be better with a rookie quarterback than they were with Sam Darnold, or do you think it's the same old Jets being the Jets?
I mean, they'll be better than last year. I mean, it's hard to get worse. I do think, I will take a rookie year Zack Wilson, and my take, whether you want to call it a hot take or not, is Zack Wilson will have a better year than Sam Darnold will with the Panthers this year.
Ooh. Okay,
and
that's pretty hot.
It's going to be funny because all you people who are really high on Sam Darnold still, for whatever fucking reason, I can't tell you why people still trust.
I can tell you why.
That
I'm one of those people. I can tell you why right now, dude. He has the same. He's just like Matthew Stafford in the sense that he's not a bad quarterback. He was just on a shitty team. He deserves half of a decent chance, and I don't think he's going to get that in Carolina, but it'll be a better situation than the Jets.
Yeah. So when Zack Wilson has a better year than Darnold this year, with much less weapons and on a worse team, I'm not saying record-wise the Jets are going to be better than the Panthers. I'm just saying Wilson's stat line will be much better.
Okay.
I'm not saying there's no way he's going to replicate the success he had last year with 33 touchdowns and only three interceptions.
No, that won't be seen again.
But I could see him. I could see him throwing like a low 30s and touchdowns and interceptions because it's the NFL, probably more around like the 12 to 15 range. But um, I think the Jets will win a couple more games than they did last year. I think having Robert Saleh in there as a coach now is going to help too,
Yeah, that'll
rather
be
than rather than having Adam Gase's idiot ass.
okay. Wait, sidetrack. You're an NFL player. You walk into the locker room. You get a brand new head coach. It's either Bill O'Brien or Adam Gase. Who do you hope walks through that door?
Either.
Well, yeah, but you got drafted to the team. This is going to be your head coach. You want Billy O'Brien or do you want Adam Gase? Who do you want to throw more
I'm demanding a
interceptions
trade.
for?
I'm demanding a trade.
Okay, yeah, that's all you can really do in that situation. Um, well, all right. You think they'll have a better season than they did last year, but not a great season. With that being said, Noah, floor ceiling for the New York Jets.
Um, I'll put their ceiling at 3-14, which is
Their ceiling?
one win better than or their floor.
Oh,
sorry,
their floor. I
sorry,
was about to
sorry,
say,
sorry.
Jesus Christ, what's their floor, dude?
No, I don't. I see them improving by at least one win. They got an extra game to do so, and I'll put their ceiling at 7-10. I think if everything's clicking, if Wilson has a good rookie campaign, if their defense improves by a little bit at least, which it should be a little bit better, we could see them bust off 5, 6, 7 wins. I think.
Yeah, we absolutely could. Just scares me. I'm looking at their schedule right now, dude, and it's just a lot of hodgepodge of not great teams, but not bad teams. Like, yeah, they have the Panthers week one, and then the Patriots, the Broncos, the Titans, and the Falcons before their bye. Ah, if I was to pick their record, I think at this point I got to go 5-12. I think they'll do better, but I think they're going to lose more games than they're going to win, and I think they're going to lose a lot more winnable games than they're going to win. If that makes sense, like if they're in control and stuff, I think they're going to have a lot more of a chance to lose those games than win them. So I'm going 5-12. I think you slam that under. Noah, what do you think their actual record's going to be?
Did you say they played Carolina week one?
They do play Carolina week one, and I think they're taking a fat L.
That would be so funny if they just go in there, they beat them. Darnold has like 3 picks
Jesus.
against his old team. Then the argument's over. We only have to
Yeah.
wait 1 week.
Yeah, no argument.
Season. All we gotta
No
do is
argument.
wait 1 week, and if the Jets win that game, then Darnold sucks.
Yeah, we know
And
at that
everybody
point.
who's disagreed with me can just eat it. But no, I'll agree with you. I like him at 5 wins.
Yeah, I mean, I just think that's and for the Jets, I think that's really respectable where they've been at the last couple of years. I think if they can rattle off 5 wins this year, I think that sets them up well for the next year. They still get a solid draft pick next year, and they can continue rebuilding. Um, Now, let's talk about a team that I get a little bit more excited about for. I will say though, I hate this team. I think I hate this team with my gut more than I hate the Packers. Um, Any guesses? It's the New England Patriots. Obviously, this team, FAA man.
Bills, the Buffalo Bills. AJ hates the Bills.
I love the Bills. Oh no! Don't you dare put that on me. I love the Bills. I'm all about the Bills Mafia, man. I will jump through a table with them any day of the week. I promise you that. But the Patriots somehow. So Bill Belichick last season, he has a bunch of people opt out. He has Tom Brady leave. His team falls apart. He throws in the towel last season. Cam Newton, after getting COVID, just wasn't the same quarterback. Shitty team. Shitty team. Everyone was like, the Patriots are dead. They're done. They're not going to do anything else. And then Belichick just decides to come out and whip out Like, dude, swear to God, I haven't seen a shopping spree like that since going to Fashion Square Mall and someone got dumped. Like, and Daddy gave him their credit card or some shit like that. Like, Bill Belichick just spent everything on everyone and just stacked his team. Not only that, he has so many people coming back out of opting out of that COVID season. Their defense is all the way back. Personally, I just don't know if the Stephon Gilmore situation has been handled yet. But if that's the only question mark going into the season, the Patriots are looking solid. You got Cam Newton who's looking solid. You got Mac Jones who is apparently, from reports at camp, looking solid. An offense that's ready to explode if given the right opportunity. Their over under is 9 wins to win the division plus 370. Noah, I'm scared of the Patriots again. Why did it only take them a year? Why is Bill Belichick the fucking best? And why, dude, why are they going to make the playoffs this year? I'm done. I'm done. They're going to make the playoffs again, and I'm not happy about that. What are your thoughts on the Patriots, dude?
Well, yeah. I mean, just look at last year. They were never gone.
Yeah.
Still, Belichick somehow pulled a 7-9 record out of his ass with what he had last year. If that doesn't tell you enough, like they on paper last year were so bad. You just
They were
if you look at their
terrible.
roster
Terrible team.
up and down, you're like, how is this team gonna win more than 2 games? Yet Belichick almost pulled a 500 record out of that. And then, like you said, he went out and just spent all the money.
All the money, dude. All the money.
Something he has never done.
True.
With the Patriots, not once. And so they have that same 7-9 core coming back with a shit ton of added weapons for Cam Newton to throw to, a bunch of defensive players that opted out coming back, some new defensive faces. This is going to be a good team.
Yeah. It's going to be a great team. It's going to be a fantastic team.
And the mastermind never left. He just ended up with a dog shit situation last year that he had actually made look okay. I don't want to say they looked great, but they looked okay last year.
Yeah, they looked decent. Like, they didn't look bad. Like, when I would watch a Patriots game, it was never, oh, it's the Patriots, they're getting blown out. It's, they have a chance. Maybe I should take the live line, take them to cover some points. But
yeah, I mean, you get that 7-9 record, but they were a goal line stand away from beating Seattle. They were one bad Cam Newton fumble where if he switched the ball to his left arm instead of his right arm, they would have beat the Bills. They had at least 2 or 3 games that were down to the wire that they ended up losing. So I think this year it's going to be a different story. They're going to be looking to prove something. And I do think the Bills deserve to be the favorite in this division, but I'm not going to lock them in like I think a lot of people are. A lot of people are just eager to just lock the Bills in as the team that's going to win this division, and I think they're going to have some competition for it.
You think the Patriots are that competition?
Most likely. I do think if the Dolphins really are clicking, I mean, I don't think the Dolphins will challenge for the division, but the Dolphins could, steal a game from the Bills, but I don't think they'll win the division.
Wow. Yeah, I agree. I do think the Patriots are going to do really good this season, over under at 9. I think Vegas has a good number there, but I think I'm leaning more towards the over. Noah, talking record now, floor ceiling, what are you looking at?
I honestly, given what Belichick did with what they had last year, I don't see them going worse than 8-9 this season.
Yeah. Yeah, with all the improvements and everything.
I think if they can, I mean, and the huge if here is quarterback play. If Cam Newton can elevate his play to where he is allegedly capable of playing at, we could see them win 12 or 13 games.
Oh, easily. I really
The
do
problem
think that.
is if Cam Newton's playing like he was last year, and then he's struggling, and Mac Jones comes in and he's struggling, that's where I'm more around like a 500 record. But if everything's clicking like it can, I'm not saying it will, but I'm saying if it's clicking like it can, I could see them busting off 12 or 13 wins.
Oh, easily, absolutely. I do think that they'll go over 9 wins. I think that's an easy bet to make. But no, if you had
Oh yeah,
$100,
I'd take it to the bank, lock it
yeah,
in, take it to the bank.
honest to God, that might be one of our locks of the season going in. But if you had to pick an actual record, you have $100. You have to pick their record right now. What are you looking at?
11-6.
Noah, wouldn't you know? That's the record I have too. I think they're going to do significantly better than last season. I don't think they're going to win the division whatsoever, um, but definitely in that competition for a wild card slot with the addition of another team. I'm excited to watch this Patriots team. I do think that we're back to being the Patriots being the Patriots. Um, I just think we might have to wait a year or two or something until we see them make another dominant playoff runs, and it might be when Tom Brady finally leaves um, football that we actually see them win another Super Bowl. Anything else on the Patriots or anything about them?
Um, they really just need a quarterback, is
Yeah,
the way I see it at this point. And that's not to say that one of the quarterbacks that's on their roster right now can't step up and be that guy. So it's just a matter of when they can get consistent quarterback play back. Knowing Belichick, he doesn't need a quarterback to be spectacular. I don't
no,
think Brady, most of his years in New England, was spectacular. He got the job done and was consistent.
yeah, which makes him one of the best
So
quarterbacks to ever live because he was consistent for that long, won that many rings. You're right, Noah. He is one of the greatest quarterbacks to ever live. I couldn't agree with you more. So glad that you finally came to that realization that Tom Brady is the GOAT. Anyway, moving on to a new quarterback that is looking to make another mark in this division and honestly has shown nothing but growth in his years in the NFL. Had an incredible season last season. I'm talking, of course, about the Buffalo Bills and Josh Allen. Wow. I am excited, bro. I am so excited for this team. I think they're going to have one of the best divisions in football, period. I'm the best records in football, period, this season. I think this team is poised for a big year. I think they're going to make a deep run. Honest to God, if I was the Chiefs, I'd be worried. I honestly think this is one of those teams that can dethrone the Chiefs from the AFC Championship game and take their spot in the Super Bowl. Um, Stephon Diggs coming in last year was so big and really um, made that offense just that much more explosive. I'm excited to see what they can do this season with a real off season and being able to connect more. Their defense as well, super solid all season. Um, saw a couple cracks here and there, but nothing that was too major. Noah, am I right for being so excited about the Bills and thinking they're going to be one of the best teams in football this season?
well, I will say they'll be good for sure. My one problem, and it's a pretty big issue I have, why they'll have no problem winning games, but making a deep playoff run and winning a Super Bowl, I don't think so. And that big major problem is they have no, and I mean absolutely fucking no running game and no run presence,
Yeah,
which
yeah, I'll give you that.
they didn't last year either. And
No,
they, had a pretty good season. The problem is I just don't see them getting over that hump. I see them losing some games because they're so one dimensional on offense. Their running game is Josh Allen. He is their running game. And typically there's problems when your quarterback is the bulk of your run game.
absolutely. I do agree with you with that. That is a big hole in their offense. But if my mind does serve me correctly, like if my memory does, they have relatively rookie, like kind of newer running backs, right? Like we're not talking about some 3, 4 year vet, are we? I'd have to double check their
No,
depth chart
but
real quick.
it's not entirely about the running backs either. It's it's definitely a big factor, but it's about just running the ball in general. Your offensive line can be great for pass blocking, but if they don't open up good holes, trust me, I saw this for so many years with the Packers, where we were still busting off 12, 13, 14 wins in a season, but then we just get bounced in the first or second round of the playoffs. Because when you start playing good teams, you can't be one-dimensional.
So running backs.
And so as good as I think the Bills are going to be, I don't think they're going to be able to compete on the same level as your top dogs like Baltimore, Kansas City.
Yeah, I can see that. I do. They have Devin Singletary as their number one in their depth chart. Zach Moss behind him, Matt Breda, and Tywan Jones. So obviously not a lot of depth at running back. So Devin Singletary is definitely going to be there, taking 40, 50 snaps a game. They do need to develop the run. I think that would definitely help Josh Allen's play with being able to do a why is the name slipping me? Pass option and plays like that and stuff, RPOs. But with that being said, their pass game is so strong. Josh Allen is such a good quarterback. Their receiving core is so strong. I think that he can just dice up the defenses. And looking at their schedule, dude, they honestly have a very light schedule, not a defensive heavy schedule. Like they have a couple issues, obviously, running into the Buccaneers, the Saints, and the Chiefs, and even the Steelers. But even then, you're playing against mostly the Dolphins, the football team, and the Texans, and the Jaguars all season. You're going to have a good record. Their over/under on wins is 11. Their to win the division is -140. Noah, what do you see their floor ceiling be? And we'll start there and go elsewhere.
Well, I do think 11 is a little low.
Yeah.
I would probably take the over on that. I don't see him. I see him winning at least double digits. Worst case scenario, maybe. I expect them to have a little bit of regression this year from what they did last year. Mainly just division's going to be tougher. They definitely way overperformed expectations last year. So I don't know, but I would put their floor at 10 wins.
Yeah, I can see that.
Ceiling, because of that lack of run game, I could maybe justify putting it at 14-3, but I'm leaning more towards 13-4.
Okay.
And then my pick for him is I got him at 12 wins, 12-5.
12-5. Okay, I understand your concerns. Like really, I do with the running game and everything. However, they're the second best team in the AFC. It's simple. It's that. It's Chiefs, Bills. I think they're getting out of this with 15 wins, 2 losses. I think they go 15-2 on the season. I think they'll crush that over under at 11. That is insulting, honestly. I'm going to slam that over when I get the chance. But they're the second best team in football right now. 15-2. Excuse me. They're making it to the playoffs. They'll make a deep run. I do think they'll meet the Chiefs in the AFC Championship game, and we'll go from there. And I think that's when the run game's really going to bite them in the ass.
We'll see. I would not say they're the second best team in the AFC, but
who?
Oh, I've got them third behind Baltimore and Kansas City. Kansas City 1 and Baltimore 2.
I mean, Baltimore's 2, really?
I do, yeah.
Any particular reason, or are you just like their colors or something?
Yeah, I love purple. No, Baltimore's a more complete team.
Well, we will see. We will see. Do the Bills and Ravens don't play this season? Interesting. That would be fun to see them in the playoffs.
The only problem for the Ravens is trying not to get bounced by the Titans in the first round of the playoffs. That seems to be their kryptonite.
Yeah. Like Jesus Christ, it's starting to become a pattern, dude. It's unbelievable. Um, yeah, that'll be crazy. It'll be the AFC East though. It's one of the divisions I'm definitely more excited to watch as we get closer to football season. Though
Oh,
I will say,
yeah, I would agree. I mean, this will be a fun division.
yeah, a lot more fun than the AFC least. But with that being said, Noah, you know, looking forward to any for this week. Before we get into preseason action this weekend, you looking forward to any baseball? I know we're in the dog days of that, where it kind of looks like the winners are going to win, and your teams obviously suck because it's the Diamondbacks and the Twins. So, what are you looking forward to this week, bro?
Um, yeah, I don't know. Hopefully, Byron Buxton getting back with the Twins. Um, God, he's only been out for I can't even remember. I was 16 years old last time he was playing a healthy game. Um, but yeah, we'll see. That stuff's shaping up. I'm excited to watch the preseason.
Oh, absolutely,
Not
absolutely.
super excited, but I'll turn it on and might bet on a couple of the games just to make it interesting.
Hey, you got to do what you got to do to watch some baseball sometime.
Oh,
You know,
I was talking
honest.
about preseason for NFL,
Oh, for
but
the NFL. Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm telling you,
but
the
yeah, I mean
Bears.
baseball too. You never know. Do whatever.
Yeah, well, if you are betting on baseball out there, just bet against the Diamondbacks. I'm sure you'll make a shit ton of money doing that because they can't string together wins to save their life. Um, I will say, Noah, one thing I'm kind of excited for: Summer League is here for the NBA. It seems like no matter what we do, we can't get away from basketball, no matter how much we want to. But it's here. It's in Vegas. Obviously, I haven't watched a lot of it, but I can't turn on ESPN. I can't get on Twitter. I can't get on anything without seeing LiAngelo Ball just doing something insane. Like I don't know where this Ball brother has been, but he is tatted up and he is ready to ball up in the NBA. See him getting called up as soon as possible. Um, did he get drafted this year, or is he just in the G League? Do you know?
He's in the G League.
Gotcha, gotcha, gotcha. So we have at least 2 more years until he can play. Or how does that G League
Or
shit work?
I don't
I'm
know.
so
I
confused with all that.
no,
Because I
well,
know
he's older than
Lamelo went to
Lamelo.
Europe, right, for 2 years.
Well, so did LiAngelo.
Oh, did he? Okay, so he went
But
there for 2 years, and now he's
but
playing G League.
that kind of confuses me because unless something changed, I mean, dude's been dog shit. Like that's been the whole narrative. He's like the Ball brother. He's the ugly duckling of the Ball brothers.
Well, he
Like
sure as hell
I
looks
think
like
like
it, dude. Jesus Christ, you should take a look at him. He needs a better stylist, bro.
like Lonzo and Lamelo were like 5 stars, 4 stars, whatever. I think LiAngelo was like a low 3 star.
Wow.
And bro, well, he was supposed to go to UCLA. He was like a year younger than Lonzo,
Right.
and then he wasn't even going to be start. He wasn't even going to be a starter at UCLA. He wasn't good enough to even be a starter. So then he
Jeez.
just decided to go to like Europe instead. I don't know. Now he's in the summer league trying to make a roster. I mean, unless something drastically has changed, I don't think he'll be playing on an NBA roster at any point.
It could just be, ESPN. There's nothing really to talk about on the basketball unless you want to talk about the geriatric Lakers, and their retirement home. But that's really the only thing going on. So it could just be ESPN taking the 1-2 plays that he makes and making it a big deal because I believe he signed to the Hornets, and that's who. No, Lonzo now plays for the Bulls. Who that? Who does Lamelo play for?
Uh, he's
He
on the
plays for
Hornets.
the
Yeah,
Hornets,
Charlotte.
right? Yeah, the Charlotte Hornets. I want to say that LiAngelo is signed to the Hornets, and that might be why they're making a big deal of it. See two of the Ball brothers on the same court. Um, but I'd rather watch Lamelo and Lonzo. I mean, yeah, Lamelo. No, yes, Lamelo and Lonzo. These names are so confusing. Way too many L's going on. But either way, I will say I'm glad that I haven't heard nothing out of LeVar in years since Lonzo entered. I really thought we would hear a lot more from him when LaMelo went off last season and had an unbelievable rookie year, but he stayed quiet. We haven't seen any more of those ugly shoes. Um, do you think he's done? Do you think we're going to hear from him again, or do you think he realized that he needs to let his kids play and kind of do the talking.
I mean, I don't think he's just gonna like disappear off into the sunset and never be heard from again. But it's not gonna be like, when Lonzo was a freshman in college and like playing well, and then like all the hype about being like going early in the draft. I mean, it definitely peaked then, and then there have been some other stuff. But like I said, I don't think you're gonna fully disappear completely, but probably won't hear a ton from LeVar anymore. Maybe just sporadic here and there.
Could you imagine that? Like, I remember playing Little League and stuff and like listening to these dads talk about their kids, like, oh, yeah, my kid's going to hit like 7 home runs this year. My kid's the best and stuff. But could you imagine that pressure on a professional stage where literally your livelihood is based off of those stats and everything? Like, what if these teams took LeVar's word and then Lonzo doesn't put up 50 points a games? Like, he just gets bounced from the league and he has to go work as a clerk somewhere because he has no other skills to play basketball. Like, that's got to be so shitty to be those kids and having your dad have such a big mouth. Like, that's awful. I feel bad for him. I really do.
I mean, it's expert marketing.
True. True. You could not get Lonzo Ball off of your screen to save your life when he was a rookie to save your, like, it was unbelievable. And he had those ugly ass shoes, dude. Do you remember those?
Big baller brain.
Big baller, bro. I think when we were at U of A, I saw like 3 people wearing those shoes in the gym. Like, it was rough.
That's ridiculous.
It really is. It really is. But anything else for the Degens at home, Noah?
Countdown to football season, baby.
We're
Cannot
almost
wait.
there. Every
I know
second we
it's
get
tough,
closer.
but hang in there. We almost got football back.
We almost do. Coming back September 9th with the Cowboys and the Buccaneers. And the Buccaneers handing their first loss. Well, handing the Cowboys their first loss, obviously. Yeah, that's really all I got as well. Please give us a listen on Spotify. Degenerate Takes, give us a search. Honest to God, anywhere that you listen to podcasts, we are there. Breaker, anywhere really. We're there. We're a podcast. Give us a listen. Also, like, share, and subscribe. It does really help us out. And as we like to say, keep
We are a
partying.
podcast.
Huh?
I said yes. We are a podcast.
We are a podcast in case people forget that. But yeah, keep partying on, and we'll be back on Thursday with a look at NFL preseason football, some hot takes, some hot bets, and a deep dive into another division of NFL football. Have a great rest of your week, and we'll see you Thursday.